Hey Weartesters, Duke4005 back again with another performance review. And I know this is usually a slow time of the year, but I feel like I've been doing one of these for just about every week. Basketball season's over with. We've still got summer ball coming. The running shoes, companies are coming out with a different version every day it seems like, so we're getting a lot of running shoes in to do reviews on. And one shoe that really is built for summer ball and the promotion is all about take on summer, as you can probably guess by now, is the Adidas Crazy Light Boost 2015. It's such an improvement over last year's shoe. I can't believe it. They actually listened to the reviewers and what the general public said and improved this shoe so much over last year, but we'll get into that in the review. One thing I want to get into before we get on is currently I'm packing to go to the Kick Roll Classic in Austin. It's George Kill from Nice Kicks. He does a 3-on-3 tournament in the summertime. This is the second year he's done it, and it's to benefit colon cancer research. He had a family member, his mother died from colon cancer, and it really hit home with him, which I can understand it should. And this tournament is all about benefiting research and prevention for colon cancer. He's had some great sessions down there about what you can do to prevent it, what signs you can look for, foods you can eat to help out with trying to prevent colon cancer. And the tournament that he does down there is called the Kick Roll Classic, and Kick Roll because he wants the players to wear their heat, to bring out their rare shoes, their dig in the boxes and find what they can. I know one guy last year had a pair of 180 Command pumps on from the original 92 series, wore them for 2 plays and they crumbled, but at least he got them out there so people could see them. So I'm not bringing much heat. I really don't have much heat. I had to dig pretty good for this. I'll move out of the way so you can get a little better shot of what I'm bringing. As you can see, it's not much, but I'm only a judge this year. I'm not playing this year, so I was kind of honored to be asked to be a judge for this thing. And anyway, it's a great event. Check out the website, kickrollclassic.com. Nicekicks.com has some more details, and be on the lookout on Instagram on those 2 accounts to check out some heat from the tournament. Now, on to the review. Okay, so first things first, we go to materials. And the upper is full-on prime knit, except for little fuse areas here. You've got a little bit of fuse around here on the lace holes. A little bit of synthetic, like a suede material around the collar. The rest of the shoe is prime knit and everywhere it counts. You've got these great ventilation holes here in the side panel. You've got them right here in the toe box that just, I mean, it's like wearing a sock. There's just no moisture whatsoever contained in this shoe, which is really unusual. Being a prime knit, you would think this knit material would just soak up the water and the moisture and the sweat. It doesn't. It's so ventilated. It's a perfect summer shoe for basketball. Got the wraparound tongue, the burrito tongue. Let me pull the paper out here. Put that in there so it would stay stuffed, because once you pull it out, the shoe just completely, you can see the misshape there on the toe where it's formed in my foot already. You can see the wraparound tongue here, kind of the burrito effect. It just wraps your foot, and this huge heel counter in the back really locks you in, which is necessary with this material. So we got boost in the heel, a huge puck of heel boost, runs to about right here where the counter where the midfoot support starts, and then the rest of it, like I say, it's prime knit. It's tighter woven here in the lateral and the medial areas where you're going to get some stress from jab steps, planning to slide on defense, make a cut. Gives you a little bit of extra support in that area for lateral moves, and then you got the fuse area on the toe for the Euro step toe drags, and that's pretty much it. Let's get into the performance. Okay, first thing we'll cover is fit, and these fit absolutely true to size. You could go down half size maybe, just to take up any extra room you got here in the toe box, but there's a better solution for that I'll get into in just a minute. As far as lengthwise, they fit perfectly. Heel counter, locked that heel in, so the fit there was good. The one thing I did have a complaint about a little bit, again, like the Lillard, with this lace hole stopping here, there's a lot of room between that last lace hole and the heel cup, so I did have a little bit of heel slippage when I first started wearing these. As they broke in a little bit and this frame broke in a little bit more, that heel slip went away. It probably took 5, maybe 6 full court games, me relacing between games, pulling a little tighter here and there, and it really locked it in finally after about probably my 3rd night of wearing them full time. So midfoot, very locked in. The straps, you can see, I'll get this out of the way, they slide all the way down into the midsole. Pull that foot right down and that shoe up around your foot where you're not going to have any movement at all in the midfoot. Forefoot, again, like I said, you got a little bit of dead space here, but the shoe is so soft and pliable that a little bit of dead space. There's no funky bends, no weird sounds, no popping like you hear in a Fuse shoe, and the fit is perfect on these. Now we'll slide down from fit into cushioning. Again, this is a huge puck of boost in the heel right here. It's the biggest I've seen in a basketball shoe yet from Adidas. I know the Rose last year had a almost full length, but the heel was not this thick. One thing I was really worried about was instability when if you land off on that backside. You know, it's boost is pretty springy. I mean, it's very responsive, it's very springy, very bouncy. You land off on that, it can have that Air Max effect, kind of where your ankle just rolls because there's nothing to hold it up. I haven't had that yet in these because I've tended more to play on my forefoot, but I could see it happening, I guess, if you happen to land awkwardly. However, again, this heel cup really holds you in. The sidewalls are up a little bit higher right here to run along with this stable frame, so I don't see that being a problem. As far as the bounce in these, if you've got a pair of Ultra Boost, you already know how they feel. It's the same kind of bounce. It's way more responsive, way more cushiony than last year's Crazy Light. It's even more responsive and bouncy than the Rose 5 last year. The heel it can't be beat as far as the cushioning. Now the forefoot cushioning is a different story. I know it says Boost right here in the midsole, and when I saw these at All-Star last year, that was the first thing I checked, was pulled that insole out and checked to see if there was boost in the forefoot. There wasn't then, there isn't now. The boost stops right here. One thing they did do in the front is they made a thicker EVA carrier, and I know I haven't read anything yet that talks about having Adiprene Plus in the forefoot, but I believe there is, just from the feel and just from the construction. Whatever it is, it's leaps and bounds better than last year. I mean, it's unbelievable how much better it is than last year's Boost. Now, although it does have Adiprene in the forefoot, it's not the Adiprene Plus cushioning feel that we got from the Lillard that was extremely bouncy, extremely responsive. This is more of the old Adiprene Plus feel of a little bit of bounce, but a lot more of impact absorption, and that's what you get out of this shoe. Now, the transition from the heel boost to the forefoot is great. The whole thing rides very low, very smooth, and the one thing I did change to make this perform a little bit better was I swapped out the insoles, which I had to do with the D-Rose 5, had to do with the Crazy Light Boost last year, the Lillard this year. I should have done it with the John Wall, and I'll show you why now. I know it's been gone over numerous times, and you might not be able to see the thickness since I have a black background, but this, finger to finger, is the insole that came in the shoe. It's very thin. I mean, you can see it's paper thin right here. There's nothing there. This is the insole I swapped it out to. This is an insole out of my Rose 1.5, I believe, the Pure Motion. You can see the pod line up on the bottom. Love that shoe, love this insole. It's a thicker polyurethane insole. I know Nightwing said he did the same thing, and by doing this I took up any of the extra toe space, any of that dead space above my foot, and also gave me a little extra bounce in that forefoot. It made the shoe so much better, improved the heel fit, it improved everything about the shoe just by adding an insole that's about twice as thick and more responsive. So if you have an old Adidas shoe laying around, old Pure Motion, old D-Rose, grab the insoles out of those, throw them in these, you're good to go. So we'll slide from cushion right down to the traction. This is a great traction pattern. It's a herringbone, but it's very thin. It's very pliable. You can see the dirt all over this thing. This is just from basketball at 24 Hour. I played at 3 different courts. I have not worn these outside yet. This is only from indoor wear. So yeah, courts are nasty. Come on guys, broom them off. We pay enough a month to get it done. As far as the traction goes though, clean courts could not be better. I mean, it's squeaky, it grips, it's good to go. Change of direction, coming off cuts, coming off picks for jumpers, sliding on defense. It's absolutely great. However, you can see the dirt it picks up. The only reason there are some clean spots on here is because the rubber has already started wearing off. You can see up here on the toe, you've got bits already missing. Again, this is just from indoor wear. I would not suggest these outdoors. You're going to be buying a new pair in about 2 weeks. So it's really soft and it's really an indoor shoe. Believe me, don't try it. Now, our last category we'll rank on is going to be support stability. We've got the huge heel counter here that once the shoe locks in and gets with your foot, just holds you completely upright. You can't even tell you're wearing a low. I know you hear that all the time, but it's really the truth. It really feels like going back to like the Kobe 4, Kobe 5, Kobe 6 days where you didn't even really tell you were wearing a low. You've got their modified X-beam kind of torsion support that runs from here on the wings, and it runs across through into this piece for midfoot support, and it runs up this black part here. There's actually plastic support beams under that keep like the old school Adidas torsion idea and concept, but it's just. And one category on the shoe that I think is extremely important, probably one of my most important categories, but I don't really grade it, is transition. And anytime there's a shoe with two different cushions, like the Boost in the heel here, and then the Adiprene Plus EVA in the forefoot, has a tendency, or has a possibility of feeling kind of slappy. You know, your heel hits first and it doesn't really roll smooth into the forefoot. It just kind of, it slaps. And not exactly an industry term, but it's something that we've come up with. So this shoe, you know, it had the possibility for that. I can report there is none of that. With the upper being the materials it is, the prime knit being extremely flexible and forming to the foot, and the sole being as soft as it is, again, you know, it's extremely soft. I wouldn't recommend anything besides just court play for these. It feels like a running shoe. It feels just perfect on your foot, the way it rolls into each step. Transition is not a problem. It's got the frame here that runs through and really helps with your spring and your step, and the transition, you know, forward to backward. Coming, you know, you throw a bad pass, somebody takes a steal. I don't throw bad passes, but if somebody on my team throws a bad pass, you know, you have to turn around and get back as quick as possible. You know, you come off a pick for a jumper and the guy closes out quick, so you've got to transition and either drive, you know, or kick it back out. It's smooth as it can be in that kind of game type situation. So they've got a winner in that department. I don't grade it, but if I did, I would put it either, you know, starting 5 or Hall of Fame. So that wraps up my review of the Crazy Light Boost 2015. Ever since All-Star break in New York City, I've been just on pins and needles waiting on the shoe to come out. I could not be happier. I won't say it's the best Adidas basketball shoe that's ever put out. I still put that as a supernatural creator. You can't really find those anymore, so if you're looking for the best shoe out right now from Adidas, it's really tight between these and the Rose 5. If you like a little more flexibility, a little more maneuverability, then go with these. If you like a little more stability, a little more ankle support, definitely, you know, go with the Rose 5. They're really close in performance, but as far as materials and overall fit and function, I would have to say the Crazy Light Boost is a little bit above the Rose 5. I won't compare it to other brands because I don't like doing that. I don't think it's fair. It's different technologies. Looking forward to the Rose 6 now, completely with the full-length boost and the materials I've seen on it with some prime knit. And if you haven't seen the pictures of the Crazy Quick 3, definitely check those out. That's another promising shoe from Adidas. I know one thing people have had complaints about from Adidas in the past is their branding and the way they're coming out with 3 stripes on every side and the Adidas logo on the tongue and everything. I think with the Crazy Quick 3, the Rose, and this shoe, I mean, it's got a little bit of branding on the back, but they're going in a sleeker design element of letting the shoe speak for itself. Kind of like Nike did a few years ago. When you see a shoe that was a Nike, you knew immediately from the design that's what it was. This was a Nike. I think Adidas is coming into that on their own now. If you're looking for, you know, great cushioning, great fit, great materials, then look no further. This is the shoe for you. I know they're not priced extremely high, and so for performance-wise, if you're an indoor player, definitely check these out. Again, thank you Adidas Basketball. Take on summer, Crazy Light Boost 2015. Thanks for all the care, and the packaging was phenomenal. And until next time, thank you.